A presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Ohio.
It's time for the Tribe to wipe the slate clean and focus on a 10-game homestand that starts with 3 games against the struggling Twins. The Indians currently stand 4.5 up in the Central as September approaches. 26 of their final 33 will be against divisional foes. Home cooking has been just the tonic for the Tribe Bats, and they look to get back to their winning ways next on Sports Time Ohio. Just across the way from East 6th Street in downtown Cleveland, Ohio, Progressive Field, where the Tribe returns home, where they've had a lot of magic this year. 39-23. They'll open up another big homestand tonight. It's the first of 3 against the Minnesota Twins. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Well, the road trip was just flat out ugly. Can't get around it. The Indians dropped 5 out of 7. In those 5 losses, they were outscored 32-3. But let's turn the page and look forward to a big homestand, because you can't look back now. You can only focus on what's in front of you.
Well, when you look at the Central Division standings and you look at the home records, the Indians have done very well here. They're 39-23, and they've scored a lot of runs. They're just a tick under 6 runs a ball game. A lot of guys have swung the bats very well in their home ballpark, and I expect that to continue. Kansas City as well. They played well at home, and they're going to end up. But the Indians have 19 of their 33 remaining games right in this ballpark, so there's no reason to not believe they're going to start scoring and get back on the winning track.
Rick, the Indians are the only team in baseball, only American League team, I should say, that has averaged 5 runs a game against their divisional opponents this year. Problem is, against the Twins, they've given up 6 runs a ball game, and I guess that therein lies their problem against Minnesota.
Well, Minnesota can score, but their issues in their 10-game losing streak has been pitching. And you look at the starting pitching, the bullpen, they have struggled. And you can see they've been outscored 82-39. They can score as a team. And you remember that 4-game series we had here in early August. They put 35 runs on the board in the first 3 games before the Indians won the last one. They had 28 extra base hits. So right now you try and go out and do the things they've done all year long. You score early, turn it over to your pitching, and then keep moving on.
As Rick said, a lot of new faces in that Minnesota Twins bullpen. We'll see some of them, I would imagine, over the next 3 nights. One guy we'll probably see is Max Kepler, bidding for Rookie of the Year honors for Minnesota. Andre Knott has more on his story when we come back. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your local Toyota dealers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome into our Sports Time Ohio studio here in downtown Cleveland. I'm Ashley Collins. The Tribe now 4.5 in front of Detroit and 5.5 in front of the Royals in the AL Central standings. Some games that we'll be tracking for you. The Tigers in action against the White Sox. Lefty Matt Boyd on the mound. He'll go up against James Shields and a tight race in the AL East. The Blue Jays and Orioles in action tonight, and the Red Sox will host Tampa Bay, so we'll keep an eye on those as well as a few others. Now we'll go back out to Progressive Field with Matt and Rick.
Thank you, Ashley, and it is a beautiful night here in downtown Cleveland as the Tribe returns home for a big homestand as they try to get themselves back on track, especially in the offensive phase of the game. Indians 73 and 56 still lead the Tigers, as we mentioned at the top of the show, by 5 games in the loss column in the standings. But they can't beat the Minnesota Twins for some reason. This year, they've lost 8 out of the 13 matchups. Minnesota has really hurt them with the bats. In particular, a guy by the name of Max Kepler, who was born and raised in Berlin, Germany, but could be on his way to the American League Rookie of the Year award. With more on that, we go down to Andre Knott.
Well, Max Kepler will win the AL Rookie of the Year award if he keeps playing here at Progressive Field. The Indians and Minnesota Twins began the month of August here, and the Twins gave the Indians all kinds of problems, starting with Kepler, who really kind of found himself a little bit here at Progressive Field. The numbers he put up were outrageous in the 4-game series to begin the month of August. He was 8 of 16. He had 4 home runs. He had 10 RBI. But in the 21 games since, guys, he's hitting .215, 17 of 79 with 0 home runs and 10 RBI. I guess the rest of the league has figured out how to pitch to Max Kepler. The question is, can the Indians do the same thing over the next 3 days?
I certainly would hope so. They seem to find his sweet spot every time, when he hit that 3 home run game, and every pitch was in the same spot. And I looked down and I saw he had 15 home runs, and I said to myself, I don't think he's hit another one since he left here, and he hasn't. So, I mean, this is one guy you have to control, but he was hot coming in, and he just continued that streak here. So they just got to, go out and make some quality pitches.
It'll be up to Trevor Bauer to make quality pitches tonight. He'll start the series opener. Josh Tomlin will pitch tomorrow. Corey Kluber goes on Wednesday. Bauer and the Indians take the field. And that'll give us a chance to look at Paul Molitor's starting lineup presented by Spitzer Automotive. Brian Dozier in the leadoff spot. He's having an incredible month of August. Joe Mauer will bat second. Trevor Plouffe off the DL batting third. Miguel Sano, Max Kepler, and Jorge Polanco in the middle. Eddie Rosario, Juan Centeno behind the plate hitting 8th, and Logan Schaefer just called up from AAA Rochester, making the start tonight in center field batting 9th when they put Danny Santana on the DL.
And Trevor Bauer will be our Honda starting pitcher tonight. For the Tribe on the year, he is 9-6, a .388. In his last start coming against Oakland, it was one bad inning where they ended up scoring 5 runs. An error in that inning didn't help, but he ended up going 6 2/3 innings. So he did not, hurt the bullpen at all. He went out there and hung in there after giving up the 5, but he just couldn't get it done. In his career, this year he's pitched 3 times against Minnesota. He's 0-2 with a .763. He hasn't pitched all that bad, but the Indians have not won a game since he's towed the rubber against the Minnesota Twins this year, and in his career he's 1-5. So let's set the defense for you behind him tonight. It is brought to you by Jeep, and it looks like this. Geyer is in left, Davis in center, Almonte in right. Ramirez and Lindor on the left side of the infield. It'll be Kipnis and Napoli on the right, with Perez doing the catching.
Jerry Mills is the crew chief. He's got the plate. Chris Conroy, Paul Nart, and Ron Culpa are on the bases, and we're ready to go. Under clear skies and 78 degrees in downtown Cleveland, a beautiful setting. Good to be back home. School is back in session. A couple of days left in August, and then it's a sprint to the finish in this 2016 baseball season. Trevor Bauer's first pitch of the night, upstairs, ball 1.
Yeah, 33 games remaining, including tonight's game. 19 of the 33 the Indians will play right here in this ballpark.
Popped him up. On the infield, Mike Napoli, the first baseman, will make the catch. 1 down. Keys to the game brought to you by Wayside Furniture. For Trevor Bauer, avoid the big inning, the crooked number. And we'll see if the Indians, being back home, gets the bats back on track, because they have swung the bat almost to a man. They've swung better numbers-wise across the board at home compared to on the road.
Yeah, Boston averages 6, and the Indians are, I think, at about a 580 runs per game. So.
And in the Central Division, the Indians are averaging almost 6 runs a ball game. I should say the Twins are averaging 6 runs a game against the Indians. The Indians averaging 5 runs a game within the division. I mentioned that at the top of the show. And, you know, it's one of those things that most of the games you look at head-to-head this year, the Tribe scored enough. It's just that they haven't been able to hold down Minnesota's offense. And Joe Mauer takes a strike. Mauer's one reason why he's batted .362 against Cleveland on the year.
That last series that Minnesota played here, they hit the ball about as hard as any team. We've seen it all year long, and even their outs were hard.
Well, he's picking up where he left off. There's a long drive to left. It's off the wall. He's headed for second. Geyer with a good strong throw, but he's in there safely, and it's a 1-out double for Joe Mauer.
That'll be the 18th double for Mauer, and you know, he shoots it and goes the other way, but there's a ball right down the middle, and there's no surprise why it was hit hard, because it was a perfect pitch to hit, and he did. He heard it. So Minnesota gets their first hit, an extra base hit.
And it brings up Trevor Plouffe. Plouffe missed 32 games this year when he was on the DL. He came back just about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, we missed him. He wasn't in the series when they came here in August.
Batting .286 since he came back from the DL.
But he's a guy that's always played well against the Indians. He's DHing tonight. Normally he's played third base.
Curveball misses up high.
I want to go back to Joe Mauer. We told you the kind of series he had the last time. He has 8 of his 18 doubles against the Indians.
Just did shave the outside corner. And it's 2-2.
I'll take a look at our Indiana Wesleyan pitch University pitch tracker. See it right on the outside edge.
Got him looking. Read a fastball back over the outside corner. Plouffe not happy with it. He lets home plate umpire Jerry Meals know how he feels as he heads back to the dugout. 2 down. I don't know that if it was so much this pitch as it was the one before.
That was a pretty good pitch right there.
I think the one before is the one that got him upset. Felt like it kind of maybe took him out of the at bat, but there are 2 down, and it brings up Miguel Sano. Big Miguel Sano has hit 20 home runs. He's driven in 53. Against the Indians this year, he's only batted .238 with 1 homer, 7 driven in. Trevor Bauer is simply going after them with the fastball here, trying to attack that outside corner. He's staying right with the success. Ran it up, just missing.
Well, when Trevor has his two-seam fastball working, he's not afraid to throw it, and it moves a lot. So there's nothing wrong in that first time through the lineup using it, especially if you can command it early.
A retired pitcher once told me he does not like to see pitchers throw the high out of the strike zone strike. He said you'll see a catcher raise his glove up and try to get a hitter to chase. He said, for me, when you throw that pitch, you're doing something radically mechanically different. And so almost invariably, the pitch that follows that is never a strike because you've got to come back and get yourself in alignment again. Thought it was an interesting concept. Pitch is outside, it's 3-1. You know, a delivery is a lot like a golf swing, as we've talked about, and if you do something different and you get yourself mechanically out of alignment, very difficult to get right back in it on the very next pitch.
Well, I don't know if they want to throw it so high that it you know, it's head high. I can see it above the belt.
To right field, Almonte drifting back and makes the catch. Trevor Bauer cruises through the first, avoids any damage on the one-out double by Mauer, and now the Indians are coming to bat. Lineup tonight for manager Terry Francona is brought to you by Progressive. Rajay Davis will lead it off. Jason Kipnis batting second. Francisco Lindor will bat third. Then it's Mike Napoli, Carlos Santana, and Jose Ramirez. Brandon Guyer hitting seventh. Abraham Almonte eighth, and Roberto Perez will bat ninth.
Hector Santiago will be our Hyundai starting pitcher tonight. Santiago is 28 years old, making his 27th start. He came over at the deadline from the Angels, and what a difference. He was 6-0 in the month of July when he was with the Angels. He came over and made his very first start against the Indians in August, and he is 0-4 as a Twin with an ERA of over 10.
Upstairs, he missed. Rajay Davis trying to snap out of an 0-for-17 slump at the plate. In one respect, no surprise that the Indians struggled to score on the road trip. A lot of left-handed pitching. Rajay in the leadoff spot a lot, and if he's not hitting and not getting on base, he can't be the disruptive force and set the table. It's the key with any good lineup. You keep that leadoff man from getting on base. It makes it a little tougher for that team to score.
Well, the Indians were one of the best at facing left-handers.
Popped to left center. And Rajay retired one away.
Let's set the Twins defense for you now. We have an opportunity. It was Rosario making that catch out in left field. Schaefer's in center, Kepler over in right. Sano at third. Polanco is at short. Dozier at second. Mauer at first. Centino is behind the plate.
That's going to bring up Jason Kipnis. Tip with a hit in 3 straight games.
Broken in a different way then.
And Santiago delivers a strike.
Yeah, the Indians have lost 3 of their last 4 against the left-handers, and that happened out on the road trip. But they had won 22 of their last 28 prior to that. They were outstanding against lefties. And you're going to see 2 more after tonight's game as well for Minnesota.
I don't think it's really that lefty is the factor. I think you could.
I don't either.
You could have thrown underhand. The way they're swinging the bats right now, they're just in a funk. Kipnis shoots it out of play to the left. Brushed him back a bit. Might have been looking away. 3-2.
Well, he's looking away right here, and this pitch comes up and in, and he didn't pick it up right away. But he backs up in a hurry.
And now the payoff pitch. Outside, ball 4. Santiago with his 61st walk in 140 innings of work this year. Now Francisco Lindor, who's batted .336 in the month of August. He checks, it's up high. Francisco Lindor, the subject of our Kia in the driver's seat with 21 3-hit games. That's the most in the bigs. Two and 0. Scoring first is something that is so important to this ball club. The Indians, we've mentioned it many times before, 51-16 when they can get that first run on the board. And many times this year they've been able to do that early in the ball game. But over their last 12 games they have not scored a single first inning run.
Yeah, they had a tough time there for a while in the first 5 innings of a game trying to get a run. And that's what happens sometimes in that offense. They get shut down, and it happens. It happens to everybody. They were coming off a homestand where they were getting a lot of 2-strike hits and a lot of 2-strike runs.
Slowly tapped to second base. Dozier's only play at first. Lindor is retired. 1 down. Jason Kipnis moves into scoring position. And before Mike Napoli comes to bat, we'll go down to Andre Knott.
Well, Arch has hit on the numbers with Santiago and how he's struggled since he's became a Minnesota Twin. Well, in his last start with the Angels, he ended up getting a bruised thumb on his throwing hand. He's basically trying to work through it, doesn't want to go on the DL. Paul Molitor before the game says he's talked to it about how it affects his off-speed stuff a little bit. His curveball doesn't have the same feel that he would like to have. He goes, hey, but people have to pitch through things like this at this time of the year. It's not an issue for me. He's kind of trying to find a way to work through it himself, and they appreciate it. So he's dealing with the thumb that's messing with his off-speed pitches, supposedly.
Yeah, and that curveball and that changeup is maybe that's why he's walked so many guys this year coming in. He's now second in the league in walks with 61. But he's coming to a new ball club. He doesn't want to bail and say, I can't pitch. So the key for me then would be patience if you're the Indians hitter. And let's see if he can throw the off-speed pitches for strikes.
Napoli looks, it's outside, 2-0. On the year, with runners in scoring position and 2 out, the Indians are middle of the pack, 8th best. Actually, how about that was in the American League? They're 8th best in all of Major League Baseball with a .245 average. 2-0 delivery. And a pop-up. If it's playable, it might get him out of the inning. Mauer to the railing, reaches in, makes the catch. No score after 1 in Cleveland. Max Kepler will lead it off for Minnesota. Yeah, Trevor Bauer with the first pitch strike. That's up high. The 1-1 again sails high. 2 balls and a strike. Max Kepler obviously had a big hand when Minnesota ran roughshod over the Tribe earlier this month. Since Minnesota won the first 3 games of that series, which also just happened to be the first 3 days of this month, and they did it in convincing fashion. But since they won those first 3 games, they've lost 17 out of 23, and they've been outscored by a total of 53 runs.
Boy, oh boy. Well, and a lot of that has to do with their pitching.
Strike 3 called. Bauer has his second strikeout of the night.
Make this our Circle K strikeout. You see Perez taps that glove. He wants it down. That's at the knees. Beautiful pitch. Down in the zone. He gets it. Can't pull the trigger.
And to bring up Jorge Polanco.
Well, the Twins have seemed to peak at the right time against the Indians. They have 8 wins against the Indians. They have only 7 wins against the rest of the Central Division. So 15 wins total.
ground ball to Jason Kipnis, who stays right with it. Throws him out. 2 down. Injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. Danny Santana injured in a collision yesterday up in Toronto. That's why he was put on the DL and Logan Schaefer was called up. But you see, the pitching injuries have been crippling, especially for the bullpen. They have a number of really young pitchers, green, raw, if you will. And it is difficult to win in the majors anymore unless you've got a very good bullpen.
Well, especially when they're young and your starters aren't going deep into games. If your starters aren't taking you 6, 7 innings, it's tough to, that workload is tough to do.
Big curveball. And Trevor Bauer breezes through inning number 2. The Twins go 1-2-3. No score, middle of the second. Second inning, and Carlos Santana will lead things off for Cleveland. Santana DHing here this evening. On the year, this is one of the teams that he has really swung the bat well against. Batting .327 against Minnesota with a couple of homers and 8 runs batted in. Of course, we know he's had tremendous success hitting the long ball against Minnesota, especially at Minnesota. .20 career home runs for Santana against Minnesota. Two-one pitch. Pop back our way.
Santiago, though, is pitching from behind early in this ball game. In the first inning, he had 3 2-0 counts. Looks like now the fastball and the changeup may be the pitch he's going to. We don't see that curveball a lot because of his thumb. That's
threw
the
it there.
breaking ball.
But it's a full count now. And that fastball is popped out of play. For Carlos Santana, only 3 of his 27 home runs have come from this side of the plate. He is the Indians' all-time leader in home runs as a switch hitter, but his power primarily from the other side of the plate. That ball cut off with the shift on. Santana is retired, 1 away.
Well, Indians baseball is live with the MLB.com at-bat app. You can stay connected all season with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
Jose Ramirez looks, it's just a bit inside, ball 1. Santiago sails it high.
Fourth 2-0 count. We're at hitter number 6.
Just barely caught the top part of the zone. Again, it's high, 3-1.
They have 3 on the left side of the infield for Ramirez, which is pretty remarkable because he hits it everywhere.
Indians fans can secure priority access for postseason tickets to any game at Progressive Field right now by purchasing season tickets for next year. You'll also get 2017 opening day priority, access to Tribe rewards, and much more. Indians.com/postseason or call the Tribe at 216-420-HITS today. 1 on 1 out for Brandon Guyer. Since coming to Cleveland, Guyer has batted .356 in 18 games for the Indians. Ramirez has stolen 20 bases this season. Not sure how easy it will be to get a jump on Santiago as the catcher Centeno goes out to talk.
Well, he's 0-2 against the Indians this year. And the Indians in his career, they're 6-2 against Santiago in games that he has started against the Indians.
Ramirez is off. The pitch was high. The throw is on the money, and he is out.
It was a good throw. I'll tell you what, he had a good jump, I thought. He was off and running as soon as he made a move. So he made a very good throw, and it was an easy pitch to throw on a fastball up and away, and it was right on the money. There's the good jump, and there's the better throw.
Guyer takes a strike. He's in the hole, 1-2.
That's the 7th time that Ramirez has been caught stealing a bag.
And I'd have to go back and maybe look at this on a case-by-case instance. But it seems like, Arch, ever since they had the game where they ran wild and set the franchise records
8, yeah,
for steals in a game, they haven't been as successful.
Well, they haven't been on base either.
Guyer shoots one deep right center, long run, and Kepler makes the grab on the warning track to end the inning. Through 2, no score in Cleveland.
12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. They are located out in the family deck at Progressive Field by the Kids Clubhouse, and the tickets are only available at Indians.com.
Juan Centeno leading off. Hit his first major league home run against the Indians. Good pitch in there for a strike.
Changeup.
In the hole and a base hit for Juan Centeno. Well, Minnesota with their second hit. First time they get their leadoff man aboard.
This guy, you see it's a changeup. You can tell by the way he's holding it. It's upstairs. He left that one belled high, enabled Centeno to find that hole between first and second. And this is where you want to watch out down with the bottom part of this lineup. Paul Molitor will start his runners.
In the air, deep center. Back is Rajay Davis, and well in front of the warning track, pulls it down, and Logan Schaefer is out, number one.
Now stepping in for Minnesota, second baseman.
Our stat of the game is brought to you by Buick. Brian Dozier has hit 11 of those 16 home runs here in the month of August. The last Twin to hit 12 home runs in a single month was the killer, Harmon Killebrew, who hit a dozen in July of 1969. So Dozier trying to do something that Killebrew did.
And this guy's a lot smaller than the killer was.
Yeah. He's got a couple of days left.
Harmon with about 573 career home runs. But boy, Dozier loves the high fastball. He's been on some kind of tear. I think when he's faced the Kansas City Royals, he has hit 8 straight home runs against their starting pitchers in games that they have played Kansas City. And
the 2-0 and a low pitch, 3-0.
And in most of his home runs, I think I've only seen him hit one going the other way. It's pull side when he gets the high fastball.
And a strike call.
There you go. 7 to straightaway center, 23 to left. None to right field. So he goes up there and he tries to roll over it, turn on him.
No throw. It's ball 4. Bauer has walked his first. Now there are 2 on with 1 out. And Joe Mauer coming to the plate.
The hitter for the Twins, first baseman Joe Mauer.
Bauer, a guy that rarely swings at the first pitch. He will at times, but a very patient hitter. Never tries to pull you, uses the opposite field. Bauer made a mistake and threw one down the middle, and he took it to left center off the wall in his first at bat for a double.
Throw back to second. If it's on time, or I should say on the mark, they might have had a shot at Centennial, who had definitely ventured off the bag.
That's a hard throw to make, though, when you're behind the plate, because you've got to throw it all that way and put it right on the money. But you could see it tailing. He got on top of that ball and it took off on him. Not only do you have to be quick with it, but you have to be accurate with that throw.
If he'd have made a throw like the one Centennial made to get Ramirez trying to steal.
Yeah, you were in business.
1-1 to Mauer. A little high.
You know, I was wondering if, I know the last time they were in here, the way Minnesota hit the ball so well, people felt like they were relaying signs or giving things up. I wonder if they went through anything today or covered the base of changing signs when you get guys out on second base, so they cannot relay the signs. And that's a catcher out there, so he's going to be pretty smart on looking in on what he can do.
Full count.
Trevor Bauer this year in the third inning. This has been his problem inning. He has an ERA of 6.43. That's the highest of any inning he's pitched for whatever reason.
And a foul back. And the 3-2. Mauer with a line drive to right. And a great jump by Almonte, who makes the catch, and the runners have to hold 2 down.
Well, one of the few times you're going to see Mauer turn on that baseball like he did. And he hit it right on the nose, but Almonte right into his tracks. He did turn on it, too. Put a nice swing on it. Almonte right there. You see him come in. The ball was hit hard because it stayed up. He's halfway. That's about all you could do. We got a wind blowing in from right center field tonight that's knocking the fly balls down a little bit, heading out that way. I don't think it affected that one, though.
Just a good jump by Almonte. You see a ball, or at least hear a ball hit that hard, you might think it's going to carry, but with Mauer, he's got that patented line drive stroke. Maybe he had the top spin on it. Maybe Almonte just read it right off the bat. Plouffe goes up the ladder, couldn't catch up to it. 1-1. No score here in the third. Twins threatening. They have 2 on with 2 out. And Trevor Plouffe, who was called out on strikes his first time up. Bauer went away with a fastball and ran it back over the inside corner. Shoots for the same target and just blew it by him at 94. There was no finessing that pitch over the outside corner. That was, here it is, see if you can hit it.
Yeah, but watch how it's down. He's been up in the zone, but this one, he challenged him right there. It wasn't as down as I thought it was.
Bauer's 50th pitch of the evening. In a key spot. And he struck him out. with a high heater. Third strikeout of the night for Trevor Bauer, and it comes in a key moment. The Twins strand a pair. No score, middle of the third. Stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Indians go to bat here in the third with Abraham Almonte leading it off. Two quick strikes.
That hasn't happened much so far for Santiago.
And he struck him out on 3 pitches. Time for an in-game update. Here's Ashley Collins back in the studio.
Thanks, Matt. The Red Sox are hosting Tampa Bay, and we'll go to the second inning, and it is Mookie Betts with a solo shot out to left field. That gives him 30 homers on the season. Rick Porcello on the mound for Boston as he's trying for a major league leading 18th win. Boston up 2-0, top of the third, guys.
Boy, there was nothing cheap about that home run.
Think about it. Look at the size of that guy, and he just hit his 30th home run. He's got some kind of hands.
Roberto Perez takes its high, ball 1. Perez hitless in 11 tries against Twins pitching so far this year, and it's 1-1. How to play down the right side.
I want to send out birthday wishes tonight to Bill Haylott, turning 89 from Hudson. Happy birthday, Bill, and a happy 91st to Irene Wazorek. Irene, happy birthday to you.
And a pop-up back out of play. Also want to send out happy birthday wishes tonight to Cesar Ariza, celebrating his 80th birthday. Back in Youngstown, Ohio. Now the 1-2 coming to Perez. In the dirt. Perez trying to find his offensive stroke. Has 5 hits in his last 11 at bats. Hector Santiago has not a lot of hit yet. And there's a pop up to shallow right. 2 down. The $13 district ticket presented by Sports Time Ohio includes your first drink. Grab some friends and catch the game from the corner of the drink rails in left field. District tickets available online at Indians.com/district ticket. First time through the order, the Indians 0 for 7 against Santiago with a couple of walks. And he struck out one batter. That was Almonte you just saw a moment ago. Here's Rajai Davis, top of the order, fly to left on a 3-1 pitch, his only time up. Down and in for ball 1.
See, I haven't seen him throw that curveball yet for a strike.
Popped him up behind the plate. Centeno to the on-deck circle, makes the catch. The Indians go 1-2-3. 3 complete, no score in Cleveland.
Going. You know, we're in first place, but you know, we still have to take care of a lot of stuff. There's a lot of baseball left, so it's definitely a boost to come home and play in front of our fans, and you know, especially that we know we play well here. So you know, like I said, we're a confident group. You know, we know what we got. You know, we got here. You know, with the people we have so far. So you know, we're gonna go out there and you know, try to play a good baseball game.
So far, the Twins and Indians have not been able to scratch out a run between the two clubs. Minnesota has 2 hits. The Indians have 2 base runners, both by the walk. We go to the 4th inning, and Miguel Sano will lead it off. Fly to right his only time up. And Trevor Bauer hits the outside corner for strike 1. Bauer has struck out 3. He's walked 1. In the dirt.
Well, that's, you know, it goes hand in hand when we were talking about the Indians and their runs. They haven't been able to score. A lot of times they've been down 3, 4, 5, nothing, you know, where the pitchers have given up runs early, and that puts a little more pressure on the defense. I like the way this game's going right now. Go out there and put some zeros out there.
Lindor tried to recover, and he did get him by a whisker.
I'll tell you, I think your heart skips a beat when you boot that ball at short, but he came up and he gathered it. They're going to think they take a look at him. We'll see. You rarely see Frankie not catch a ball where the ball doesn't go into his glove, but
that's about as close as it gets for an umpire. I mean, look how close this is.
Let me see. I thought he had him, but we'll see. He was called out. They're still waiting. And the last time they were here, he's out. It's in the glove.
You're not going to get that overturned.
I don't think so. Remember the last time they were here, how long it took them to get to forget about it. Yeah, I don't think you would have. Even if you challenged that ball as close as it was.
Lindor was out early today, taking extra ground balls, working on his throws from the pivot. But every once in a while you get one that just clangs in and out of there.
Yeah, but rarely do you see. It's a surprise when a ball doesn't go in his glove.
Max Kepler called out on strikes, his only time up. And Bauer with another big curveball. Strike 2.
That's always a good pitch when he can throw it for strikes and he doesn't overthrow it, because it takes the hitters off everything else, and he also has a changeup to go with it.
He was shaking everything Perez had to offer.
Coming back with it again.
Right to Kipnis. Almost pulled him off the bag. Napoli with a good stretch. 2 down. Our great clip of the game from yesterday, Danny Salazar with a really good bounce back performance after the way he had pitched in his previous 2 outings. He only went 5 1/3, but he only allowed 2 runs on 5 hits, and he struck out 10 Texas batters.
He had a little better command of his pitches yesterday. That fastball and his changeup was good. He mixed in a few curveballs.
Jorge Polanco takes it up high. The 2-0, and he swung on and missed. Nice change of pace by Bauer, and way out in front. To first, off the glove of Napoli, and down the line it goes. Polanco's going to go for 2, and he'll go in there sliding safely. So a runner in scoring position with 2 outs for Minnesota.
That ball was hit hard. They'll probably give him a hit, but it looked like it hopped up to where Knapp could catch that ball. It just went off the thumb of his glove. That's a ball I think he should catch. It'll be scored a hit, but I think a play he could have made.
I would agree.
You know, the Indians are coming down. Thursday's an off day. That'll be the first time in 23 games that they have had an off day. So I think it's coming to that time where they could use one. I'm not using it as an excuse, but you know, you're in August and you go 23 straight days. It's a workload.
That's why we've seen Santana play quite a bit at first base on that last road trip.
Yes,
Napoli
you're right.
He's DHing a lot.
Well, we talked about the number of games that Napoli has played in his, what's the most? 140, I believe.
Yeah, he's on pace to play the most he's ever.
Right.
Eddie Rosario ground out his only time up. He's hit in 14 straight games against Cleveland.
Yeah, he's always seemed to like to hit against the Tribe.
Tied him up. Good heater. 1-2. sometimes I know pitchers will shake off catchers, by design, just to throw the hitter off, keep them guessing. But it does seem to me that Bauer and Perez are not exactly on the same page here tonight.
Well, we see Perez go out to that mound every game, and you have to wonder sometimes, but he's a young catcher, so you're better off getting on the same page and going out and talking about it. But I don't know. I see rhythm of pitchers, it seems like, slows down a little bit back there. So
Bauer trying to put Rosario away, and it's fouled out of play.
It's nice when you have that relationship where that catcher can just put it down and the pitcher doesn't have to shake, and that happens sometimes. But there's also times where that pitcher has his own game plan. He wants to throw what he wants to throw at a certain time, and it helps when you're on the same page.
Swung on and missed, and a ball in the dirt.
Touch it. Touch it. There you go. Now roll it to the mound.
Is over.
No, he's saying he might have fouled it off.
Now we're going to get a conversation between the home plate umpire Jerry Meals and third base umpire Ron Culpa. They converge, and what do they say?
Well, I think the third base umpire was overruled by the home plate umpire.
Well, he's out.
Yeah, he was saying he might have fouled it off.
The inning is over, and it's still a scoreless game, middle of the fourth. For the Indians. Strike one to the outside corner.
Well, Santiago has settled in. First inning he threw just 39% strikes. Second was 53, so it's going up. And last innings was 73, so he's found something out there. He had 3 2-0 counts in the first.
Jason Kipnis shoots one in the gap in left center. It is cut off by Rosario. And Kipnis with a wide turn, but he'll hold smartly with a leadoff single. That's the first hit of the night for the Indians.
Yeah, I was wondering. That was a nice swing on that pitch. Kip, and you know what? That's a pitch away. Think about how they pitched him in Texas, Matty. All the left-handers pitched him inside there. He ended up driving in the only run on a hit to right field. Now you come back. It's a different team. They pitch it differently. That's away, and he stayed on it and hit the ball the other way. Good swing. Still haven't seen Santiago. If I'm a hitter, I don't worry about his curveball. I just break it down into a fastball and a changeup, and he will try and cut one in like he did to Frankie right there. Changeup.
Slowly chopped to short, and the Twins turn 2.
Well, that's a good pitch when the hitter thinks it's a fastball. And he tried to pull it a little bit. And that's just what Santiago was looking for. The 6-4-3, 2-for-1 ball. That's the 117th ground ball double play that the Indians have hit into. And they have hit into the third most in the league.
Mike Napoli fouled out his only time up. Napoli got to 29 home runs this year, back on August the 11th, in that 14-4 Indians thrashing of the Angels, his old club, in which he has always had big numbers against. But he hasn't gone deep since.
Well, he's home where he likes it here. He likes this ballpark. Almost 100-point difference between here and on the road.
Full count. Took a healthy hack there, trying to drive one deep.
Napoli, a .308 hitter, 19 homers, 61 of his 88 RBIs here.
Took inside, ball 4, and a 2-out base runner in the 4th inning. Our T-Mobile greater coverage of baseball. Big afternoon for Josh Donaldson and a 3-home-run game. That's the 6th 3-homer game in the big leagues this month.
That's crazy. Those things used to be such a rarity. Now they're becoming common occurrence.
Carlos Santana grounded out in the 2nd and takes the big breaking ball. Two and 0 the count. Sometimes the drink rails can be ice cream cone rails. Popped him up. This should end the inning. Dozier went a long way with the shift on, but he makes the catch. The side is retired. 4 complete. Still no score in Cleveland. Baseball is brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. By your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. And by the Cleveland Clinic. Access anytime, anywhere. What beautiful shot over the lake. No score, 5th inning. Juan Centeno to lead off for Minnesota.
You know, the sad thing about this is it's getting darker earlier. I don't like when it stays light till about 9:15. It has been a beautiful summer, though.
Never ceases to amaze me how fast it changes.
Yeah.
Just when you get
into
used
August.
to it. Now, why is it then in the wintertime, if you can harken back to your days when you used to spend the winters here, that it seems to stay dark forever?
Yeah.
You know, in the winter months?
It sure does. Well, sure. The sun sets. It's by 5 o'clock. It's dark out. You get up.
It's dark when you get up. It's dark.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
It's unfortunate. We've had a beautiful summer, though. It's been gorgeous.
Shattered bat. Pieces fly everywhere. Kipnis throws him out. 1 down. Here's another in-game update with Ashley Collins. Back to the studio we go.
Thanks, Matt. Orioles hosting the Blue Jays, and we'll go to the 4th inning tied at 1, and it's Troy Tulowitzki with an RBI single to left field. Toronto had tied it up earlier in the inning when Josh Donaldson, as you guys just mentioned, hit his 34th homer after homering 3 times yesterday. Blue Jays up 2-1, bottom of the 5th.
All right, thank you, Ashley.
Yeah, Baltimore's got to start playing some baseball. They got to come back.
Slowly chopped to second. Boy, Kipnis has been busy tonight. 2 down. That's his 5th assist already.
Well, you love early outs, especially when you get to the bottom part of that lineup. 3 pitches or less, you get a first pitch out. I think Schaefer's he's 0 for 2 with 2 pitches. And for Bauer, he's got 6 pitches on, or 6 outs on 3 pitches or less.
Tyler Saladino just delivered a 2-run single for the White Sox. They lead the Tigers 2-1 in the 4th inning in Motown. Kansas City just underway at home against New York. Upstairs to Brian Dozier, 1-1. Dozier popped up on the infield in the 1st. He walked in the 3rd. Ripped, but foul.
Yeah, he hooked it, hit it too well. Nice play by a fan.
Oh, she's got the glove. He made the play. What happened down there?
That's okay. Look at, you can see he hit that ball hard, but when you get the barrel head of the bat out in front of that baseball like he did, coming in, it hooks in it. Well, what had happened, it hit the chair next to him, and he was able to pick it up. That's the way to do it.
Back our way into the upper deck. Brian Dozier putting together another outstanding season offensively. 30 homers, 31 doubles.
You know, and he got off to such a horrendous start this year in April, and that so did the Twins as a team. But a guy like that, to see he rebounded, and it goes to show you that this is a marathon, because we showed you his numbers in his last 40+ games or since the All-Star break, and he's a good player. And he bounced around the lineup. Well, you know, he was the leadoff hitter, and then he was hitting 3rd and 4th, and then, you know, he's moved them around. But you have to do that at times in your lineup. They're not doing the things they should be doing, and that's a tough thing to do as a manager.
Oh, everybody except the home plate umpire.
He's the only one that missed it. Everybody in the field saw it. Powers took 2 steps to the dugout, and he thought he had him, and he was waiting for him to ring it up. There it is. Let's go. Here he goes. Look at Bauer. Seriously? Well, he couldn't see the ump because he was hiding behind Perez. Doesn't that always happen?
Gets another chance and
yeah,
strokes a single, trying for two. Here's the throw in plenty of time.
There you go.
Inning over. So Dozier strokes a single to right center, but challenging the arm of Rajay Davis. No, sir. Half of the fifth, and a scoreless duel between the Indians and the Twins. Hector Santiago delivers, and Jose Ramirez with a drive to deep left field. It's off the wall. Bare hand grab and a throw by Rosario, but not nearly in time as Ramirez, helmet flying, goes into second base with a leadoff double.
Yeah, how did that helmet fly off? He had a triple in Texas the other day and stayed on all three bases. This one, he smokes this ball. There's the curveball he threw for a strike. Guess what? It might be the first one, and Ramirez hits it. Halfway up the wall, he goes cruising into second base. That is going to be his 33rd double. That leads the ball club. Nobody out. Man on second. Get him over, get him in.
Brandon Guyer flied to deep right his only time up. Tries the bunt, and it's back over the screen.
Not a very good attempt there. I think he bunted to the ball.
Well, Guyer has only batted .154 coming into tonight against Minnesota pitching this year. Remember, he began the season with Tampa. But a good chance he'll be getting plenty of action in this series with 3 lefty starters scheduled to go for Minnesota.
See, that's why that bunt surprised me. Guyer, a guy that can shoot the ball to the right side, and he's proven that he can stay inside the baseball and do that. But now he's going to have to just try and put it in play. See if he can get the job done. Down 0-2.
Tied him up and strikes him out. Well, Rick, before Hector Santiago was traded, he put up an ERA of under 2 with the Angels in the month of July. But since coming over to Minnesota, that ERA has been almost 11. He's looking tonight more like the guy he was in LA than he has been so far in Minnesota. What are you seeing?
Well, he's settled in. He's starting to command his fastball. He hasn't thrown that curveball for a strike. Ramirez got it, one of the only ones, hit it off the wall for a double, but he's been able to get some swings and misses. They only have 2 hits. He has walked 3.
I think time was called. It was indeed. But with 1 out in the inning, Almonte will be trying to drive him home. Just missed a little low.
Well, it was a nice pitch. He was looking at second base because Dozier sort of keeping an eye on Ramirez. And it's easier to remember to steal third off a left-hander than it is second sometimes. He was looking at second and started home. He's going to make sure he makes him stop, which is a wise idea.
Tied him up. Good fastball, and Santiago, it's only 90, but he still has the ability to throw it by him.
Well, 3 pitches in his first at bat for Almonte. He went down. It was the first time I think he had an 0-2 count. He was 1, 2, 3. He's not able to size him up yet.
High pop, and Dozier backpedaling to the outfield grass. Will reel it in, 2 away.
Well, it's going to be another Sugardale Dollar Dog Night Friday. The Indians will host the Marlins. We're going to go interleague style. Plus, you can enjoy $2 Budweiser cans and post-game fireworks to follow that ball game. Just go to Indians.com for more details.
Roberto Perez watches one sail wide. And just above the hitting zone.
Yeah, helped him out a little bit.
Throw to second, but Ramirez back safely.
That's the way to go in there, feet first when you go back. Do you see how Dozier had to wait to come by and put the tag down because he's coming feet first? He's got to make sure that he can get there and get around it. If not, he can go ahead and just drop a knee on that side of the bag.
Oh. A good cut, but couldn't square it up.
Trying to run that fastball in. Oh boy, he had one to hit there. That's where, you know, when he's on his game and he's swinging it, he hits the ball to right center and right field. There, he's pulling off of it a little bit because he fouled one off right down the middle. So to me, that tells me he's just a little too quick on it instead of waiting a little bit more.
Chopped up the middle. Backhanded by Dozier. And the inning is over. Leadoff double, but the Indians can't cash in. We've played 5, no score in Cleveland. inning. And for Minnesota, 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up. Trevor Bauer has allowed just 4 hits. He has struck out 4. He's only walked 1. Retired the side in order in the second. And Joe Mauer taking a strike over the outside edge. Mauer stroked a double off the wall in left field in the first inning, then turned on a pitch, hit a line drive to right in the third, and Almonte did a nice job to run it down. A little high, 2-1. A little low.
Well, he turned on an inside pitch off Trevor in his last at bat, but it was right into the tracks of Almonte and right.
Shoots that foul.
Now you see, this time you expect him to just go the other way. That's why when he turns on a ball, it almost surprises you that he pulls it like that.
Just doesn't do it very often. And I don't know if it's
he could do it anytime
pitch
he
that forces him to turn on it once in a while, or if he's literally making a conscious effort to say, I'm going to turn on this ball.
I don't know. He just sort of stays on that baseball so long that you don't expect him to pull it unless you speed his bat up. But if you get a fastball in there, he could pull it anytime he wanted. They tried to get him to pull the ball more and try and hit more home runs. It was a year or two ago, and he just wasn't comfortable with it.
Chopped in the hole. What a diving stop by Kipnis, and he throws him out to boot.
Good play. Kip got up in a hurry, man, to get rid of that ball. It was like that ball was on fire. He wanted it out of his glove in a hurry, and he got it out in a hurry. Made a very nice play.
That's a 4 out of 4 stars right there.
Well, that was starting the inning off. That took a high second hop. Got back up and made a beautiful play here to retire Joe Mauer. He was extended, and there's a man that's happy for it.
You know, it seems like Minnesota's had more scoring chances in this game than the Indians have had, but Cleveland's 0 for 4 with a runner in scoring position. Minnesota's 0 for 5. Oh, Trevor, did he get a spike caught? Big curveball and a little low. And a line drive single to left by Plouffe. In-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Trevor Bauer through 5. Has walked 1, struck out 4. He's given up 4 hits. Hector Santiago through 5. Has given up 2 hits. He struck out a pair. He's also walked 3. But neither team has been able to get the big hit with a runner in scoring position. So we stay locked in a scoreless ball game. High fly ball right field. Almonte. 2 down.
The hitter for the Twins, number 26, Max Kepler.
Max Kepler 0 for 2 has struck out, grounded out. Check, but it's called a strike.
No, he's missed with his curveball the last couple of pitches, taking him off of it, but he had that one spell where he's throwing for strikes.
And there's a good one.
Good. He came right back with it and got a good feel for it. You know, he had nice tempo with this one. Didn't overthrow it. Just let me start it out about the tip of his helmet, and the thing breaks down into the strike zone. That was a good one.
Now the 2-2. Chopped it off the plate, but it's foul. Now the 2-2 from Bauer. Got in on him, popped it up, and again, it's out of play. Back at that curveball. Sure did. Right at Lindor. And he'll step on the bag to end the inning. Jason Kipnis has been some kind of busy tonight. He's already assisted 6 times. None better than that diving effort right there. Bottom of the 6th inning, Rajai Davis to lead it off. He's 0 for his last 19 at the plate. Let's go down to Andre Knott for more on his struggles.
Well, he's well aware of the struggles that he's going through. He didn't want to know the number he was at when we talked before the game. And we talked about being aggressive. He says, you know, he was a little too aggressive, he thought, at times yesterday, but he has to be that way because he's the type of player that he is. When I tried to ask him, is it because he's playing sparingly? He looked at me, shook his head. He says, no, this is just how a baseball season goes. He goes, so what goes up must come down. It's time for me to go up.
Well, he lifts one high in the air to center, but Schaefer makes the catch right in front of the warning track. Round number 1.
Now the only thing you can do is hit your way out of an 0 for 19, and you just keep going up there and trying to stay as positive as you can and just hit good pitches. Don't go out of the strike zone. Sooner or later they're going to fall. You need to get that guy on base, though. When you get him on base as a leadoff man, he makes a lot happen. By far the best game that Santiago has ever pitched in a Minnesota uniform.
High fly ball, deep right field near the line, and it is caught by Kepler. Route number 2.
Yeah, he never went more than 5 1/3 innings in his starts in a Minnesota uniform. He's now at 5 2/3.
Andrew Miller getting loose in the Cleveland bullpen. 2 down for Francisco Lindor. He's 0 for 2.
You know, the way he was struggling in that first inning throwing strikes, he has 10 outs today. I'm talking about Hector Santiago on 3 pitches or less.
Well, it seems to me that a number of these Indians hitters are maybe trying to hit their way out of the slump, and they're not having maybe the kind of patience you would have if you're in that confident offensive groove.
Well, you have to, you know, let the next guy do it. Get on, do your best. They've walked 3 times. They just haven't got a hit with runners in scoring position. They only have 2 hits.
Well,
you're not going to do much with 2 hits.
Lindor laces one back up the gut. Think about this for a minute. Remember yesterday down in Texas? It seemed like a long time ago, but we were in Texas. Remember, Almonte comes up. Gabe Stone line got a chance. He pops up to end the game. But remember, it was a 3-0-3-1 pitch.
It's 2-0 count.
2-0 count.
And the guy was having a tough time throwing strikes.
But the pitch, if you go back and look, it's right there. But he pops it up. So my point to you is, okay, you're struggling. You want to let the next guy do it. But if it's 2-0 and it's right there, and you still pop it up, where do you go from there?
Well, in that situation, I would have been taking the pitch because I watched the inning. The guy was all over the place, and he was very effectively wild, will I say. That's a pitch I would have taken and made him get in the strike zone instead of trying to hit it. You try to be a hero instead of just, hey, we'll take what they give me. We'll take what they give me. But I mean, that's easier said than done. If he gets a base hit, you love him. You say, way to go. When you pop it up, you say, oh, you should have taken the pitch. That's just the way baseball goes, you know. And you can't sit and look at yesterday. You reflect back on that as a ball player before you come into this game, because once this game starts, that's over with.
Yeah, and what I was trying to say is, if you go out of the strike zone and you chase a bad ball, okay, everybody's going, what are you swinging at?
Yeah.
But if it's right there and you still pop it up, that's where I think this team's at right now. Their confidence is, man, even when we get a pitch, we're not putting it in play or we're not squaring it up.
I remember saying last homestand, I can't believe the 2 strike hits we're getting, because sooner or later that's going to come to an end. And it's at an end. And we've seen it for a whole trip. What they did last homestand in that 11 games, it was remarkable to me. And it just doesn't happen like that. When it's not there, you're thinking, oh man, how can't they get this? It was so easy. They were doing it before. Little things, man. It's the little things that end up turning it around. You have to do the little things right. The defense, everything, details.
Well, Mike Napoli patiently walks for the second time tonight. That came on 4 pitches.
Well, he wasn't going to mess around with Napoli, who could put one swing of the bat and make it a 2-run ball game. So he says, okay, I'm going to be careful there, but you have 2 outs. And now the Indians were going really well last homestand with 2 outs and there's nobody on. Now Santana, all he has to do to get it going, get a base hit, and we'll see what happens. It's a 4th walk for Santiago. You know, when it's going right, it's easy. When you're not getting the hits, it's tough.
Santiago was with the Angels long enough to, he didn't need a scouting report. He knows Mike Napoli, don't give him anything to hit. Right. He can kill you.
Well, he was probably drummed in his head when he was an Angel when you face Napoli.
Well, he's walked him twice tonight.
Around him.
Now he's got Santana to deal with. Bullseye. One ball, 1 strike. Ironically, you know, you see Napoli take a couple of walks tonight. Santana's the guy who walks a lot. 3rd most in the American League. 72 times he's been walked this year. But tonight, a ground out and a pop-up. And that's low 2-1.
Yeah, just stay patient.
Left-hander up in the Twins bullpen in case Santiago should need help. They've got so many guys in their bullpen. 9 guys listed in the bullpen for Toronto, or for Tampa, Minnesota. One of those teams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But one of those guys, Andrew Albers, is scheduled to start tomorrow.
Carlos had a pretty good pitch to hit there on that 2-1 count. He fouled off.
Twins have a 3-man shift on that side of the infield for Santana. So Dozier bird dogging Lindor, keeping him close. And he popped him up. Mauer makes the catch. The Indians strand 2. We've played 6 and still no score. Bauer's night is over. Indians baseball is brought to you by Ford, built Ford tough. By the Injury Lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. And by Adventure, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram. Up to $10,000 off select 2016s. Save now. No score, 7th inning, and the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen for left-hander Andrew Miller. You got all these left-handed hitters at the bottom of the Minnesota lineup. Switch hitter Jorge Polanco, then 3 straight left-handed bats. So Miller coming on to pitch at least the 7th, and we'll see. Maybe on for more than that.
Well, he had to pitch in a 7-0 game in Texas just to get some work. So he's coming on here in the 7th.
And a first pitch strike to Jorge Polanco, who doubled in the 4th inning, but that was I don't know, kind of a gift score, a gift decision by the official score. It was a one-hopper to Mike Napoli that hit him on the thumb of the glove. Regardless, he's hit now in 13 of his last 15 road games. But he's in the hole here, 0-2. And he shoots it back.
Well, the one thing I've noticed since Spiller's been here, and we never really had a chance to see him pitch a whole lot, you better be ready from the first pitch because he does nothing but throw strikes.
Defense on their toes. In the hole. Ramirez couldn't quite get to it. Lindor did, but by that time, no chance to make a play. So it's an infield seeing eye single by Jorge Polanco on a ball that somehow just barely got by the glove of Jose Ramirez. I thought he was going to cut it off. Just
right off the end of it. He was on the run.
Run out. Nothing but lefties.
Well, see how Paul Molitor plays it. See if Rosario's squaring around here to bunt him over.
He tried, and I guess he pulled it back.
Mo.
That time he jabbed at it, no chance. 1-1. Pulls it back. 2 balls and a strike.
With the guys charging, see if they may let him just try and slap one past Ramirez, or start the runner, not thinking he's going to throw to first base in a 2-1 count.
It's 2-2. Well, he gets those hitters looking away. I wonder, I mean, if his fastball's got plenty enough on it, might be able to go in on him and just kind of freeze him. But he chased it away. Why do that when you can just flip one up there?
Yeah, he figures the farther away, he's going to want to swing at it anyway. So he ends up getting the strike. You watch the slider here. It starts at him. It wasn't even close, but he had him before he even threw the pitch. His heart might have been in it, but his butt wasn't.
Juan Centeno, 1 for 2. Remember when Miller gave up the home run to Joe Mauer? That was a slider that he hung inside, not a fastball.
Right. That was his first appearance there, wasn't it, for Miller?
I don't remember. Was it his first time?
I think it was. Yeah, it was his first appearance here.
And he just threw the bat at it. Going to bloop it in for a base hit. So Minnesota with first and third and only one out. So an infield seeing eye single and a little bloop job.
Well, right off the end of the bat. That was the breaking ball, but he kept his hands back enough to get enough of it to bloop it in there. So Minnesota able to go first and third. We're going to get a pinch hitter here. Is that Grossman coming out on deck? Yes, I think it is.
Robbie Grossman will bat for Logan Schaefer.
For Minnesota, batting for Schaefer, number 36, Robbie Grossman.
Grossman is as a pinch hitter this year. Just 0 for 1. But when he's had a chance to be in the lineup, you can see there he's done a decent job for Minnesota.
Well, this is where you need a punch out in the game. This is the guy to try and get one.
Back out of play.
And he has the opportunity now.
Swung on and missed.
Boy, I'll tell you what, you need it. You 3 pitches and he gets it.
That was like going to school.
Well, he came out, he was aggressive with the fastball and got strike 1. Then he fouled off the pitch, and then here you go. That slider, he swings over the top of it. It was down and in that back foot. And boy, you see that big 6'8" frame and that arm, left arm coming from the side, and he slings it at you. It's tough to hit. So he gets the second out.
And up comes Brian Dozier. Dozier a base hit his last time out, thrown out trying to stretch it to a double. And he looks at ball 1 just off the corner. And it's 2-0. Three strikeouts and 4 tries against Andrew Miller for Dozier. But he's in a pretty good spot if there is such a thing against Miller. 2-0.
Well, yeah, you'd certainly rather have it a hitter's count where you don't have to swing at everything. And you got to take that one because you're not looking for it. You get a 2-0 count, you want to look for his fastball, and he just drops that slider in there.
The 2-1.
Campbell
popped up near the line. Foul ball. And a good break there, because if that drops in fair territory, I don't think anybody could get to it.
That's when you know you're really going bad. If that ball like that falls in. He was jammed and he just tried to fight it off, and Napoli was in. He would have, you see it gets in down on the trademark. Good thing that thing was not fair because nobody would have been able to get there. So 1 strike away from getting out of this inning and keeping it a nothing ball game. Two on, 2 out.
No score. 2-2 pitch. Swung out and missed. He struck him out. Almost hit him in the back leg. Miller strikes out 3. Minnesota strands a pair. Stretch time in Cleveland. Still no score.
You want to put the headset on and tell everybody?
Oh, man. Bottom of the 7th. The Indians go back to work with the bats. Jose Ramirez. He has walked and he has doubled. Eddie Rosario has taken over in center field. Popped up. Might be playable here. Sano and Centennial. And nobody can get to it. So Grossman, who pinch hit, goes in to left, and Rosario goes from left over to center. And Hector Santiago still in there, slinging it for Minnesota.
Yeah, 90 pitches.
Shift. It's Dozier with a one-hop throw to first. And Ramirez is out number 1.
Nice play, because with that the shortstop Polanco breaking in front of him, he went down on one knee and threw it from the knee. Watch, he's in front of him and he just put a one-hop throw there. That's a really nice play from the other side of the infield as a second baseman, and didn't throw it all the way there. That's like what Lindor does at times. Throw a one-hopper right to your first baseman.
There is Brandon Guyer 0 for 2 in the dirt, ball 1. Guyer fly to deep right in the 2nd and struck out in the 5th. And a shot to short. Polanco spins around. Wild throw. And that will send Brandon Guyer on to second base.
You know, it could be. I'm not saying it will be. It probably won't be. It could be 2 errors, because he had that ball plenty of time to throw him out, and that makes a bad throw. He had him if he wanted him and throws him wild, and he goes to second base. Now, will they give him? I don't know if they'll give him a base hit, but the play should have been made. He made a nice stop because it was hit right on the nose, but it's just a terrible throw.
2-base error. So he's in scoring position, and Paul Molitor's going to the bullpen. Timeout in Cleveland, no score in the 7th. By Miller Lite. This date back in 1977, Dwayne Kuiper's
Believe it.
only home run of his major league career.
Believe it. That ball came back on the field. Look at the trot. Buddy will meet him at home plate. Watch that. Buddy was on deck. Joe Nossick, the third base coach. There's Buddy, and then in comes the rest of the crew. That was off Steve Stone, by the way.
Ryan Presley, 62nd appearance of the year. 6 up, 6 down, 3.72 ERA. Abraham Almonte 0 for 2 on the night. Swing and a miss. That's out of play. Almonte has batted over 300 so far this year in games played at Progressive Field. So he's due for a hit. Instead, he's down on 3 strikes. On 3 pitches, excuse me.
Well, the first 12,500 fans will get a Carlos Baerga jersey Saturday when the Marlins are going to be in town. And all fans can enjoy a pregame block party and postgame fireworks. To follow that ball game, just go to Indians.com/tickets for more details. Chisenhall is going to hit for Perez.
Pitching coach Neil Allen going to go out for a talk with Ryan Presley. This has been a sore spot for the Indians this year when it comes to pinch hitting. Lonnie's 1 for 8. The only guy on the roster with more than 1 pinch hit is Rajai Davis, who's 2 for 10. As a team,
Not good.
10 for 65.
Yeah, with a homer and 7 RBIs. That homer came by Knapp. Remember, he had that game off and came in here and hit a 2-run homer. And that was it. But yeah, overall, it's been a tough go for pinch hitters. They haven't been.
Lonnie looks, it's in the dirt, ball 1. Chased one down and in. No score, bottom of the 7th. Geyer in scoring position. Chisenhall looking to deliver. Almost chased, but held up. The 2-1 in there for a strike. Chased one in the dirt. And a lob throw to first. Ends the inning. Not even an error can help the Indians get on the board. We've played 7, no score in Cleveland. Telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Scoreless game, 8th inning now. And for the Minnesota Twins, Joe Mauer, left-handed batter, Trevor Plouffe, Miguel Sano from the right side duo. Andrew Miller will stay on for at least one batter to face Mauer. We'll see what happens after that. Brian Shaw is up in the bullpen. Ball one, it's outside. Mauer doubled in the first. He lined out to right field in the third and then robbed of a hit on a great play by Jason Kipnis in the 6th inning.
Well, this is the guy that he's going to make you work, and he will stay on it. That's what the surprising thing when he hit that home run off Miller. But it was a hanging breaking ball. Look at that. Put a good swing on it. He pulled him.
Yeah, Jason Kipnis throws him out.
And that'll be it as Tito comes out of the dugout.
A 7-assist night for Jason Kipnis as he handles the hot shot off the bat of Joe Mauer, and Andrew Miller goes an inning and a third of scoreless relief. Timeout for a pitching change. Brian Shaw is coming on when we come back. Andrew Miller once again was lights out. Struck out 3 in the 7th. Did give up a couple of hits, an infield single, a little bloop job, and it was 1st and 3rd and only 1 out. But that's when he got nasty. Now it's Brian Shaw with Trevor Plouffe and Miguel Sano due up for the Twins. Threw it by him. Maybe just elevated enough.
I think you're right. The first couple times up for Trevor Plouffe, Bauer was able to get him to swing and miss, and he kept the ball up. But when he got the base hit, it was down a little bit more, even though it was a good pitch to the outer part of the plate.
Hit in the air to right field. Back goes Almonte. 2 down.
Stepping to the plate now for the Twins, number 22, Miguel Sano.
Miguel Sano, 0 for 3, will be the batter. Broke his bat, and Rajai Davis with a terrific diving catch in center field. Somehow kept it from grazing the turf, and the Twins go 1-2-3. That'll send us to the bottom of the 8th. Still looking for our first score of the night. Off the bottom of the 8th, but not before we take a look back at that terrific catch he made.
Well, he got a good jump on it. He kept coming. And boy, if you have an opportunity, you certainly want to come in and catch it, and you don't want that ball to get by you, because if anything, it's got to be a single. But he makes a nice catch, diving, and guess what? He's going to lead it off. So let's see if he can get on base and make something happen. Boy, the Indians just 3 hits again tonight.
They came in consecutive innings. Leading off the 4th, Jason Kipnis singled. Leading off the 5th, Jose Ramirez doubled. And then with 2 outs, Francisco Lindor singled with the bases empty in the 6th.
Yeah.
That's been it, though, offensively.
It's the starting staff, though, that has been pounded to a ERA of 10.
Smashed to short. Polanco with another great play, and Davis beats it out.
Let's see if they try and challenge that. That was close. What a play.
That would snap in 0 for 20 if it stands.
Well, again, Polanco makes the catch on this play, and then the throw. He's called safe. I want to see if they're going to.
I think he's safe.
I do too, but is it worth an appeal? It was bang bang. That's the speed of Davis. Okay, they let it go. They let it slide. Base hit. Second time it was something that close at first base that they choose not to take a look at it.
And Jason Kipnis, who has walked, singled, and fly to deep right, steps in. Kip has now picked up a hit in 4 straight games.
This guy's pretty quick to home plate too, so he's going to give Centeno a chance to throw because he's just a little over 1 with his delivery. And Rajai going to call timeout and go get exactly where he wants to go and draw that line where he wants his front foot to be. He's going to have to get that lead because if he's going to steal one here, he's going to need a great jump.
Bouncing ball to second. Dozier goes to Polanco, back to first. Safe is the call on another close play.
How many close plays are there going to be at first base? I see everybody in that Twins dugout wanted the same thing. They thought they had him. You know, a tough way to go to turn that double play when it wasn't hit all that hard because Dozier had to give him a short feed, you know, where he had to spin. He couldn't underhand it, and I think Kipnis did beat it. So I don't think they're going to challenge this one either. Because there's the foot. He's down and he's safe too. It was about the same thing every time. That's the 3rd time tonight that's happened at first base for the Twins. So
they'll get the force at second.
Nothing you could do. Not a thing you could do there. That ball was rocketed. And you have to stay put. Didn't stay in the glove of Dozier, so nothing you can do as a base runner. Jason had to stop and get back. He didn't want to get doubled off, and he caught it out of the corner of his eye, but nothing you can do. Just a tough break there.
Timeout for a pitching change. Paul Molitor will go to his pen for somebody other than Ryan Presley to face Mike Napoli. It'll be their closer, Kinsler, when we come back.
Twins in action, no score in 8th inning. Welcome back into our Sports Time Ohio studio. Detroit Tigers in action, taking on the White Sox. 6th inning, Chicago up 1. Detroit ties it up when Justin Upton hits his 18th homer of the season. A solo shot to left field. Tigers starter Matt Boyd done after 4 innings, giving up 7 hits. They're tied at 2, top of the 7th, guys.
All right, thanks, Ashley. Here in Cleveland, no score, 2 out, 8th inning. Francisco Lindor is at first. Mike Napoli will be the batter. And Brandon Kinsler, the closer for Minnesota, coming on to pitch. We've seen really the best of the Twins bullpen so far. Ryan Presley, who leads the Twins and is 3rd in the American League in innings pitched. And now Kinsler, who's done a nice job. He's 12 for 13 in save opportunities. His lone blown save came almost 1 month ago to the day against the White Sox. It was on July 30th. In his last 40 appearances, his ERA is 1.38. Now here's Napoli, who's walked his last 2 times up tonight.
Let's see what kind of delivery he has and how long he takes to get that ball to the plate.
Foul back. Did not go 1-1. And he shoots it the other way. Lindor off to the races. He'll head to 3rd. Here's the throw, and he's out. By plenty, in fact. Good throw by Kepler, and that ends the inning. Indians finally get a hit with a runner on base, and he's thrown out trying to go to 3rd.
Cleveland still scoreless. Indians and Twins, game 1 of a 3-game series. Cody Allen has come on for the Tribe as we welcome you back here to Progressive Field. Jensen Lewis, Al Pulowski. So Allen is going to see hitters Kepler, Polanco, and Rosario here in the ninth.
Biggest thing right now is just continuing to keep this score where it is. I mean, I think the next score probably will win this game, but saying the obvious here, I think something else that's obvious, Trevor Bauer is back. What a great start tonight. He needed that. He's struggled against Minnesota all year. Good thing for him to continue to build off of.
More on Bauer, more on this game coming up afterwards. It's Indians Live, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. For the ninth, let's head back upstairs. Here are Matt and Rick. Guys.
All right, thanks, Al Jensen. Here we go with Cody Allen. He's got the 5, 6, and 7 hitters due up for Minnesota. Cody on for the 54th time this year. Max Kepler to lead it off. He is 0 for 3 on the night. And a fastball just outside 1-0. Got in on it, popped it out of play. Jammed him, and it's 1-2. Oh, what a curveball.
Oh, yes.
Nothing Kepler could do. He was frozen.
Yeah, that was a dandy right there. Down and away, late break, nice bite to it, perfect pitch. 85 miles an hour. Look at it coming out of the hand. Boy, you'll take those. Oh, you can't hit that one.
Cody Allen. The 1-0. And Polanco fouls it back. Cody Allen has made more relief appearances than almost any other pitcher in baseball since 2013. There are only 3 who have made more, and one of them is his teammate Brian Shaw.
That's almost like when one comes in, the other one has to come in. That's basically how it goes.
Think about that, though. Since 2013, 2 of the most used bullpen pitchers in all of baseball are in the same club.
Well, if you remember, we talked about it last year. It's the innings are down, their appearances may be up, but you know they like to work.
Yeah,
I mean they really do.
Fly ball left center. Rajay Davis calling for it. 2 down. And I'm glad you brought that up because that's something that could be misunderstood. These guys aren't abused. Terry Francona
by no means.
We're very diligent with how they use them. They use them frequently, but they don't overuse them and abuse their arm.
That's why I remember, because we talked so much about it last year and had to say that. They're saying, oh, look at these guys, 78, 79, almost, you know, every other day.
Yeah.
But hey, they don't get up. If they get up, they come in, and you know it's just usually an inning at a time. Last year wasn't Allen. He had what 7 1+ inning saves, I believe.
Most in baseball. That ball's scorched to the gap. That's going to get down. And Eddie Rosario in the scoring position with 2 outs here in the 9th inning. A 2-out double.
And that kid keeps his streak going as far as that's 15 now for him against the Indians. But it was a low fastball, and he plugged the gap in left center field. Pretty good swing by Rosario, so he keeps the Twins' hopes alive of trying to score here in regulation.
And Juan Centeno will be the batter. And he is 2 for 3 on the night with a pair of singles. This young guy's done a nice job. Got a hit off Andrew Miller. Not many can say they did that, especially a left-handed hitter. But, you know, hey, he kept his hands back, just kind of threw the bat at it.
Yes. You're right. He stayed back enough to get enough of it. Any at bat against him, if you put it in play, is good.
Curveball misses high. He's got a hit in 12 of the 17 games he started this year for Minnesota. He doesn't have the experience that many of his teammates have, but he's a fast learner. He has 8 hits in 17 at bats this year against the Indians. Even though you look up and his season numbers are just a .259 average. Threw it by him, a little foul in and out of the glove of Chris Jimenez. Fouled back. And now Cody Allen 1 strike away from sending this game to the bottom of the 9th. Scoreless. Cody Allen's 2-2. Didn't get away. Did he go? He did go. And Jimenez will make the throw to first to end the inning. Centeno didn't realize that there was an appeal. The Indians did appeal. He went around, and that's going to end the inning. Paul Molitor's going to come out, maybe have a say, or maybe he's just going to make some lineup changes.
No, he wants clarification.
The inning is over. And a wild, strange ball game. No score as we go to the bottom of the 9th. Trevor Bauer buoyed the big inning. There were no innings.
Yeah.
Zeros everywhere you look. And the bats have not been able to come through with a big hit neither side.
They're still on ice. I will say this, both starters pitched very well.
Carlos Santana 0 for 3 on the night.
So much different than the last series when Minnesota was in town at the beginning of August. Little balls flying all over the ballpark.
Into the glove of Mauer, one away.
Now you're going to play that no doubles down the line. And right there into the tracks. Line drive hit on the nose. Nothing you could do. Mauer puts it away, out number 1.
Jose Ramirez. And he takes a strike. Jose walked in the second. He doubled in the 5th. And grounded out in the 7th inning. And a foul right back. Ramirez doubled leading off the 5th inning. And that's where you thought, all right, maybe now we get a chance to get on the board. But then Brandon Geyer struck out, didn't get him over. Almonte popped up on the infield. And Roberto Perez grounded out to end the inning. Got him to go fish. A rare at bat in which you see Ramirez strike out on a ball in which he really, I don't think he could have hit that with a boat oar.
No. So true. This one had movement, and you're right. How many times have you seen a swing like this from Jose Ramirez? You can count them on one hand, I can tell you that. So a good pitch, looked like a little changeup going down in the way, and he gets a swing and miss, 2 outs.
Broken bat bouncer right back to the mound. We've played 9 innings and do not have a score. Extras await. Extra innings presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky all season long. Jack Link's, feed your wild side. Well, we head now to the 10th inning with no score. And Cody Allen stays on after working a scoreless ninth to face Robbie Grossman, who pops the pitch out of play. Grossman pinch hit in the 7th inning and struck out against Andrew Miller. And a strike called. Swung out and missed. Down goes
Nice.
Robbie Grossman. 3rd strikeout for Cody Allen. Time for another in-game update. Here's Ashley Collins.
Thanks, Matt. Detroit 4.5 back behind the Tribe in the Central. They're taking on the White Sox, tied at 2 in the 6th. And Tyler Saladino with his 8th homer of the season. This one out to left center. Saladino has driven in all 3 of Chicago's runs. They're up 3-2 now, bottom of the 7th.
Saladino having a good night there. He swung the bat well when he was in Cleveland the last time.
Brian Dozier, 1 for 3 with a walk. When he struck out to end the 7th inning against Andrew Miller, Miller threw him a slider that almost hit him in the back leg, almost hit him in the thigh muscle.
Well, that's how much that ball breaks coming in once you commit.
And after he swung and missed, as he got up, he was smiling almost to the point of laughing, like a crazy person would laugh.
Embarrassed?
Yeah, it's just like, are you kidding me? That just happened? Two and 1 to count. This is the 6th game this year to go into the 10th inning without a score.
In all of baseball or just the Indians?
In baseball. There's a smash to left. And a nice catch by Brandon Guyer on that sinking liner. 2 away. Tampa Bay's been involved in 2 of those games. Both times they were on the road. And they were involved in the last such instance, which was on July 22nd. Tampa Bay at Oakland, no score as they went into extra innings. So it's rare, but not unheard of.
That's the tough play as an outfielder. Hit right at you, line drive like that, and it had some sink to it. And he was able to get his glove underneath it.
A little bit outside to Joe Mauer. He is 1 for 4 tonight. The 2-0. Bullseye outside corner with a fastball. Seventh matchup between these two. Mauer has 1 hit.
It's a good job when you hold this guy 1 for 6.
Curveball in the dirt. 3-1. Tony Burke of Highland Heights celebrating a big special birthday tonight with her friends and family. Watching the Tribe on TV.
Happy birthday, Tone.
She'd like to see a win so she can end her birthday celebration on a high note. The 3-1. And Mauer looks at a fastball that grazed the outside corner and a full count.
see. Oof.
And the payoff pitch is low, ball 4. And that's going to bring up Trevor Plouffe. He's 1 for 4 tonight. One of those guys, though, that's had some big hits in his career against the Indians.
Yes, he has.
11 career home runs. Fastball outside.
He has 12 at bats. The one thing though with that walk tomorrow, you don't worry about him stealing. If you just peek at him, he's not going to go anywhere. Outfield playing deep as they should be.
Lindor can't make the play. That ball was singed.
Yeah.
And there are 2 aboard with 2 out.
See if this pitch is down because he hit a rocket. And Lindor was just trying to put it on the backhand side. He put a good swing on it, and you can see that ball had some spin on it going down. So for Plouffe, his second hit of the ball game, the 9th for the Twins, and that keeps this inning going here with 2 outs in the top half of the 10th.
And it brings up the big man, Miguel Sano, 0 for 4 tonight. He has grounded out.
Earlier in the year, we were in Minnesota, and this matchup occurred. And Sano, if I'm not mistaken, was able to get a base hit. It was a walk-off. And he said his teammates would tell him, look for one thing, the fastball. And he did, and he hit that fastball. I want to see how this one turns out now.
Fastball high.
Go back, and there it was. It was a low fastball, man. Tracer. And he kept saying, those guys on the bench told me, just look for the fastball. He had just came back, and that was it. Then they came back and matched up, I think, the next night as well. And Cody got him.
The last 5 Minnesota at-bats in this game with a runner in scoring position have ended in a strikeout.
Nice save.
2-0.
Nice save right there.
Paul Molitor has seen his team lose 10 in a row, which is why he has played this one with the kind of managerial moves that you would think his club was in contention. He wants to win this badly.
You want to end streaks. You're right.
He went to Presley for an inning and a third. Kinsler already for an inning and a third. He may be coming back out again. He's used the best guys out of his bullpen. He's trying. Yeah, I think Kinsler is definitely staying in this game. There is nobody up in that Minnesota bullpen. So it all comes down to Cody Allen and Miguel Sano right now. 2 on, 2 out, 2-1 pitch. Did he go? The appeal, he did not. 3-1.
This is the 3rd time this year that Cody Allen has thrown at least 30 pitches in an inning. He's at 33 right now. This is the most.
He pitched the last inning.
Yeah, but I'm saying in
an outing.
Yes, in an outing
okay.
here. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean an inning. In an outing.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing he has proven to be is durable with all those multi-inning appearances he made a year ago. 3-1. It also tells you how badly Terry Francona wants to win this game.
Yeah, both teams. Yes.
We didn't really have to point that out. That's fairly obvious when you're fighting for a playoff spot. But I wanted to point out to Paul Molitor, sometimes people think, oh, they've lost 10 in a row. They're back. They're mailing it in. Not the case in the big leagues.
Well, we played against the Twins many years. That's a team that has never mailed it in. They'll fight you tooth and nail all the way till you get that last out of the ball game. And the way they play against the Indians, they feel confident that they can end their streak. And I'm sure they came to the ballpark today thinking, hey, we're going to end this today because we can beat these guys. You know, they just believe it. And it's been a heck of a ball game when you look at nothing into the 10th.
Runners go. 3-2 pitch. Popped him up. Foul back to the on-deck circle. Jimenez. No, not enough room. And we'll get another pitch. Mauer, not great speed, but the fact that he can run on the pitch means that any ball that gets through the infield will plate the go-ahead run. And another foul right back.
He's had some very good swings in this at-bat. He just hasn't been able to square one up. He's fouled them back. It is a battle going on right here between Allen and Sano.
Think about that, though, Arch. Trevor Bauer went 6 innings tonight, made 97 pitches. This will be the 37th pitch already here for Cody Allen, and all of it in a tough spot. Low, ball 4. He's walked his second, and now the bases are loaded. Oh, and Terry Francona's making a move.
Yeah, he's 37 pitches. He says he's out of gas.
Well, they're going to leave it in the hands of Zach McAllister with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the 10th. We'll be right back. Get through that inning, he's frustrated because of the walks. He was mad when he walked Joe Mauer and obviously upset that he walked Sano. But based on the fact that he was almost at 40 pitches, Terry Francona made a decision to take him out of the game. Bases are loaded with 2 outs, and so Zach McAllister will be coming on to face the left-handed hitting left-handed hitting Max Kepler. McAllister, the pitch. Ball 1. Out goes Jimenez, nowhere to put him. And that is the problem.
Well, Chris is just trying to come out there and say, let's go. Stay aggressive. Throw strikes. He may have tried to overthrow those first 2 pitches, and it's not an easy situation to come in for Zach McAllister here. You know, bases loaded, 2 outs, 10th inning.
Kepler pops it up foul, out of play.
No.
Sure, Otero wasn't available tonight.
The last time we saw McAllister was down in Texas. He came on in the 9th with the bases empty, gave up a hit, then a walk, and then proceeded to strike out 3 in a row.
Yeah. Well, you need 1 out right here. Final out of this inning.
Foul back 2-2.
All right, he's back into the count now. Come back with a couple of good fastballs. Whatever Jimenez told him, he listened.
Kepler with 2 strikes didn't want to take and leave it in the hands of the umpire.
No.
It was too close. He fights it off.
Anything close, you have to be swinging. I don't care what the count is. You cannot afford to get rung up on a pitch that's close or borderline. You have to go after it. Crowd wants to see the out, then they want to see the Indians hit.
2-2. I play again. If he could throw a breaking ball for a strike, he might freeze him because he's seen nothing but fastball.
Well, that is true. He's seen everything in his heart. I don't think he's going to mess with a breaking ball.
High drive, center field. Rajay is there, makes the catch, and the Twins leave him loaded. McAllister gets out of the jam. Almonte is going to lead it off for Cleveland. And Brandon Kinsler, who's already worked an inning and a third, will stay on the pitch in the 10th. Now the nice thing for Kinsler is he's only made 10 pitches, even though he's recorded 4 outs. He's only retired 3 batters. Remember, he came on in the 8th, and Mike Napoli got a base hit, but Lindor was thrown out trying to go to 3rd.
Right.
And then he got a 1-2-3 in the 9th. Drag punt, and he didn't have the ball, so Almonte's safe. Kinsler came up and tagged him, and I thought, man, that was a great play, except he was missing the ball. So the leadoff man is aboard.
It's the right idea. Right idea. Take it with him and watch. You're right. In stride. I thought he tagged him too just in time, but he didn't have the ball in his glove. He forced the pitcher to make a play. It goes off the end of his glove. He tries to tag him anyway, but you got to have the ball. Single for Almonte.
And that's going to bring up Chris Jimenez. Jimenez squares. Ball gets away, but Almonte freezes.
Oh, that's too bad he couldn't pick that up. That would have saved you a punt there.
I'm not so sure. Maybe he thought he fouled it off. The way
he goes around, he's just flat-footed. He just didn't pick it up.
I think that hits him right in the shin guard.
It did. That's exactly what it did.
In on the grass at 3rd is Sano. And Almonte only a stride or so off the bag. Easy for him to get back. Jimenez gets the bunt down, but it's foul up the first base side. He takes a long look down at third base coach Mike Sarbaugh.
You know, there's no mystery here. Let's get a decent pitch and bunt it. Get him in scoring position. Execution.
He squares. Bumps it off the plate. And now he's down to his last strike. So the question becomes, can you get the bunt down with 2 strikes?
You know, the thing of it is, when you get into and you're in, just wasn't out in front of the plate enough, goes off the plate, into low scoring games or into funks offensively, magnify. You've got to execute the little things. And if you don't, it's magnified. Like right here. And I don't think he'll be bunting again. You just hope he doesn't hit into a double play.
Line drive base hit right field. Almonte hits the bag and stops right there.
How about that?
Has already showed off a very good throwing arm in right field. So Jimenez does you one better.
Yeah, he gets the job done. You know, that's just the bonus right there. But boy, he just threw that pitch down and in, and Chris did a great job to just put it in play. And you can't go here, even though you wanted to, hit too hard.
Watch Mike Sarbaugh.
Oh yeah, stop. He knows that guy's got a good arm. He's already shown it tonight. So now, again, we're going to come back and move the runners along.
No, the Indians finally got a hit with a runner in scoring position in that 8th inning. Actually, it was just a hit with a man on base, period. But Lindor was thrown out. Trying to advance to 3rd. That was their only hit with a man on base tonight.
Oh, on base. I didn't think scoring position. That was their first 2-strike hit tonight. They're 0 for 12.
Rajay shows bunt. And bunts it foul over to Andre. Indians looking for their 8th walk-off win of the year. And Rajay bunts it foul again. 0-2 the count. He broke an 0 for 20 slump by hustling out and beating an infield single in the 8th.
He'd trade that single if he could have moved the runners over. I'll guarantee you that. Boy, oh boy, bunts have been tough to come by.
Abraham,
that's what started the inning off, was a bunt.
Almonte, the winning run at second. Popped back out of play. Kinsler, a veteran of the independent leagues, made it to the bigs with Milwaukee in a couple of back-to-back seasons where he was really good out of their bullpen. Now closing for the Twins, and it's up and away.
Yeah, I wonder if that was sort of a show pitch to just take him off something inside. I thought they were going to try and pound him in. That was a breaking ball away. But it wasn't close to even offer at.
Pulls it foul. Brandon Kinsler is one of those guys who has a colorful past when you consider he pitched in the independent leagues. One off season he worked in the ticket office selling season tickets for the independent club.
No kidding.
Another year he worked in Vegas driving a limo in the off season. So you know he's got some great stories. The 1-2 pitch. Rajay pulls it foul. He is really battling.
Well, yeah, when you're a hitter up there and you've had an opportunity like he had to bunt a couple guys over and you don't get it done, boy, you're saying, hey, I let him down. I got to get this thing done. I got to get him over, get him into scoring position. Nobody out here, first and second. Just looking to push one run across the plate.
And another foul back. Well, he got the base hit that ended the slump of his last at bat, but these are the kind of at bats that can get a guy going again when he's been in a funk offensively. You see a lot of pitches, you foul some tough ones off. Maybe this will get him going in the right direction offensively. This is going to be the 8th pitch of the at bat, and remember, this at bat started with Rajay trying to bunt, trying to get the runner into scoring position. Upstairs, he lays off.
The Minnesota bullpen still quiet. It's the kind of at bat that we talk about over the year too. If he does get him and retires him, the next hitter could be the beneficiary of a long, hard at bat.
Off of his foot.
Well, he continues to foul off 2 strikes, fouling them off. This was a sinker down and in. You can see him turn it over right off the leg.
Abraham Almonte. Bottom of your screen there. He's the winning run. Nobody out. 10th inning, 2-2 pitch. Ground ball to third. Sano. Did he get the tag on? Yes, he did. The runner at third, Almonte, is out. But Davis beats the play out at first, so no double play.
Almost a good play by Sano.
Yeah, and Almonte's saying he didn't tag me. So the Indians might take a look at this on the replay.
Well, let's take a look and see, because he said he tagged him. The umpire did, at least.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, tough from that angle to see. This is a good one. Doesn't look like it, but is he out of the baseline? And Tito's coming out, and he wants to.
I hope they've got a better angle.
It was a phantom. No. Unless he's telling him, I don't know, he didn't call him out of the baseline. He already would have said something.
Almonte reacted immediately. He would have, you know, and I think he reacted to the fact that I didn't feel it.
Right.
So I just hope there's a better angle than what we had, because based on what we saw, I don't know that there's anything they're going to be able to use to overturn it. But Barney must have saw something down there in his replay unit.
Boy, those are all tough to, you know, I don't either. And then you got to, he was called out, right? So
yes,
he wasn't called safe. It just doesn't look like he tagged him. But Sano then wanted to go out and get Davis.
His glove doesn't move. If you tag somebody, you're going to see the glove move.
Well,
that's the only thing you got to stand on from those angles.
Well, this one may take a while, and we're going to have to wait and see. And you can see they're on the phone now. So they're, I wonder if they got somebody up in their bullpen is what they're on the phone for. But everybody's looking up at the scoreboard to see what's going on and what angles, and it's just tough to see. Well, we have an answer here. He is out.
Well, again, I just don't think we had we just didn't have a good enough angle. Unfortunately, there's no angle, and that's disappointing that there's no angle that would have shown it. And I'm not sure how you would cover that play differently, even from a TV standpoint, to where you would have seen it.
We saw every shot we possibly had, and it was tough on every angle where you couldn't really see the glove or somebody was blocking it or whatever. He may not have tagged him, but the evidence wasn't conclusive where they could overturn it. So they get the first out. They still have runners at first and second, and Jason Kipnis is going to get an opportunity. And again, that at bat by Davis was a long, hard one. What was it, a 10-pitch at bat, I believe? So
well, first and second with one out now, and Jason Kipnis the batter. And what do we got here? Kick the Rosenbag back off the mound a little bit. Now we're ready for ball. Now we need a timeout after standing around and watching the replay. Here is the pitch, and it's high, ball one.
You know, if my memory serves me correctly, Jason's the only one that had an RBI when you think about it on that road trip. If you take away that 12-run game against the Rangers, was able to drive in a run. One for, I believe, 28.
Base hit left center field. This should do it. coming around third. Jimenez will score the winning run. They're going to drown him. Jason Kipnis with his third career walk-off. It's the 8th walk-off win of the year for Cleveland.
And another 1-0 victory.
This one felt like they survived more than they won.
Well, it was, yeah. I mean, both teams, they were looking for that one clutch hit. And Jason Kipnis finally comes up with it. And that's the one I remember yesterday when he got off the left-hander to give him their only run. He stepped up here big tonight. And it was after that long at-bat with Rajai Davis. Comes up clutch, and the Indians get that win, 1-0, and they needed that desperately.
The team that has been built on pitching, in particular its starting pitching, got a great start tonight. Got great bullpen work, but you still have to score to win a baseball game. And Jason Kipnis drives home Chris Jimenez to win it here in the 10th. So the Indians with the win go to 74-56, and they will stay in first place. And from the looks of things, they'll stay 4.5 games in front of Detroit. The Tigers have rallied back to go ahead of Chicago in the bottom of the 8th in Motown. Let's go downstairs right now to Andre Knott.
Jason, what's it like to go through a game like this where you guys have struggled for a week to score runs, and you get into a game like this where you get some great pitching from your starters?
It just puts more of an emphasis on how much we need to keep battling through. We don't have too many guys going too well. It's going to happen. It doesn't matter if it takes 9, 10, 11 innings. When your pitchers are doing their job, you know that all the guys on offense are feeling like they need to get it done. And sometimes the best is just to relax and simplify things and get it to the next guy. And that's what we started to do.
A night like this, can they get rid of some of the struggles and get you guys back? Because you said yesterday, you just wanted to get home and let you guys settle in a little bit.
I sure hope so. I know we love hitting here. I know we hit a little bit better here. I know we love playing in front of our crowd. This is a good win to get tonight. Everyone looked like they're kind of dragging just because no one's playing that well. And then, I don't know, we're happy to be home.
You haven't guys won a game since '92 in extra innings, 1 zip. Yeah, that's the one. I had to dig for that one. What is it like being in a 0-0 game all night long?
Well, mistakes get magnified. You're starting to tighten up because you know literally the first person to blink is going to lose. And you got to give credit to our bullpen right there at the end. Bauer started it off. And then McAllister, Allen, Miller, Shaw, all them guys did fantastic tonight. And, I mean, it wasn't our best offensive performance, but we know we'll take it.
Peripheral vision is doing pretty good.
Both of us are peeking back.
We're doing this sideways. Last thing that I'll get at, got to be a good feeling to have Danny pitch the way he did yesterday, to see Bauer pitch the way that he pitched today. It seems like the starters are getting back to who they are.
You know, we went into a little cold spell here. But, I mean, this is the home stretch. This is when we were due to get hot. This is when we want to get hot.
You knew you had to hit it far with this guy running.
Hey, did you see that base running read right there? But, you know what, Carrasco took a couple starts after the DL to get going. Danny did the same thing. They're doing a good job of getting to where they need to be, and hopefully we can pick up some steam heading into the end of the month.
Jason, appreciate the time. Good job looking back for me, taking care of us. Good job. Back up to you guys.
All right, thanks, Andre. The Indians get a much-needed win. You know, Andre talked about a scoreless game into the 10th. It was a scoreless game in Oakland into the 8th when they took the lead there and won. So they had a little experience playing this type of a ball game where a mistake at any point could have cost them dearly. But they survive and win this one 1-0 and open up the homestand in fine fashion. The Pat O'Brien play of the game. There it is. Jason Kipnis taking it the other way.
I like it. That ball was down and he stayed on it. He had to be looking for something away because he hit a nice pitch. There you go. It was desperately needed by an offense, and you get back home, you win that 1-0 game, and it doesn't matter how. There's times you got to win the 1-0 games, you got to win the 6-5 games. However it's done, it is done, and that's a big one right there. And Kip's pumped.
I want to know what he did to his teammates. Andre didn't ask him. I mean, they beat the tar out of him out there. They're dunking water on him. They dragged him all the way out into left field. Well, that's going to wrap up our coverage of tonight's ball game, and a big win for the Indians, 1-0. For Rick Manning and Andre Knott, I'm Matt Underwood. Thanks for watching. We'll be right back here tomorrow night with Game 2 of this 3-game series. Until then, stay tuned for Indians Live with Al and Jensen coming up next.